No. I'm sorry if my camera is like that. No. Where's Manton? Okay, Manton's off the side. Oh. I lost my camera. I forgot where I am. Help. Oh. Okay, guys, that is going to, I probably will guess, and you can already guess what it is. Yep, I love memes. I hate my life. Okay, but onto the real thing. I was Save it. Is that really how it says Nintendo? Sounds Nintendo? That's literally the start of Undertale. This is not how it sounds. They just Delovania. Tail on me.
Welcome back to What a Glitch, the only show that has vaguely anything to do with goat people. Today we're looking at Undertale and the glitches that lie underneath. For those who didn't know, this game was mostly made by Toby Fox. That means he also did the programming, which is good for us since Toby says he's not a very good one at that. And it really shows. There'll be glitches from across the entire game, so we're warning you now that for some reason, almost 2 years after its release, you haven't completed it, there will be some minor spoilers. However, you'll see some cool and interesting stuff from almost every world in the game. One last point to make is that these glitches were recorded on version 1 of the game. So if you want to try some of them out, go into your Steam settings and revert it back to 1. So without any further ado, let's grab some spaghetti and get right into these glitches. Before we get into the video, I just want to thank Quid for sponsoring this video. If you didn't know, Quid is this neat little app you can use to open packs and collect stickers and cards all for free. There's stuff from series like Steven Universe, Adventure Time, and even Garp in the description, so you can add me there if you want. Alright, back to the video. The first glitch we have is probably one you've encountered while playing the game. When you hang out with Sans at Grillby's, sometimes you'll find out that he goes a bit too far for humor. Literally. When you enter Grillby's, if you hold the up key during the entire sequence, your character will just sit down slightly too early. As insignificant as that sounds, it actually makes a huge difference to the game. Sans will just nonchalantly keep walking forward without stopping, even though this text box still appears. Even after you finish the hangout, Sans is still gone, but is it really a glitch or another one of his tricks? Back in Snowdin, you can face off with Papyrus before you enter Waterfall. After your battle, if you take Papyrus's life, odd things will happen. At the start of Waterfall, you'll encounter a knight with a spear once you go into the grass. Instead of going to the right like the game would want you to, strangely enough, going to the left would reveal Papyrus. He's just standing there. It's rather ominous to think about. Perhaps the ghost of Papyrus is back to watch your destruction. Or perhaps it's just a leftover from a different cutscene. Normally, Papyrus would walk on screen and talk to Undyne to give his daily report. Although we took away that possibility, Papyrus is still loaded off screen for some reason. These two brothers are definitely weird. Are you ready to party? Well, don't get your hopes up. We have a small little glitch here involving walls. You've probably seen this one before, but if you hold up and down simultaneously while on a wall, the character's sprite will swap between up and down in a rather amusing manner. If you're back in Snowdin, the first time you encounter this puzzle, there's usually one way to solve it, which involves moving up, down, left, and right. This isn't so much a glitch, but a neat little trick you can do by moving diagonally while sliding on the ice and going through the puzzle against the tended way. This is used to save some seconds on your run for you speedrunners out there, if you don't mess up, that is. So now let's have some fun with Undyne, shall we? If you line up your character with this very specific pixel and hold up, Undyne will do some long speech about monsters that we just don't care about. So if we keep holding up, by the time it ends, we'll be all the way at the top of the screen. You can play around here if you want to, but if you want to do something useful, you can actually go down to the cave entrance and skip the first phase of Undyne's assault, which is cool, but don't forget to run. Now this one is exciting. This is the punch card skip. When you go through Waterfall for the first time, you'll encounter this Nice Cream Man again, and it introduces the concept of punch cards to you. You're intended to collect 3 of them and redeem them for a free Nice Cream, but we have some other more interesting uses for these cards. For some reason, they grant you the ability to skip certain segments in the game. Totally normal. This requires very strict timing for it to work, but if you do manage to successfully activate it, you can move around the screen without any restrictions, skip usually mandatory events, and even collect items early like Burnt Pan and Hotland, for example. Now that we have the punch card in hand, let's have some fun, shall we? Let's start with Undyne, who can't seem to catch a break today. When traveling in Waterfall, you encounter Undyne in the sequence where she summons spears from underneath you. Instead of doing that right away, we'll just use punch card in this very specific column of pixels to skip the beginning of the spear cutscene and casually proceed. Next up is Alphys. Normally, when you enter the lab for the first time, you get introduced to Alphys and Mettaton. In that same cutscene, you also get the phone upgrade, and then you can continue to Hotland. But who needs cutscenes, am I right? Let's just skip it. Position yourself in this pixel-perfect spot right before the screen scrolls, and when the cutscene begins, go into your inventory and do the punch card. Then the screen will still scroll, but you can move around the lab freely while the cutscene plays. You might as well just leave Alphys to talk to herself and continue on to Hotland. As we're all seeing, the punch card is quite the game breaker, but let's have a speed round of skips. Don't like gates? Just fly out of bounds. Don't enjoy the opera? Just leave and get your money back. Afraid of spiders? Go grab the bug spray. Hate solving puzzles? Make the puzzle try to solve you instead. Hate authority? Run. Okay, speed round done. Let's continue. In Hotland, you frequently get calls and updates from Alphys because she cares a lot, you know? When you reach the room where you need to ride a conveyor belt and press 3 switches to proceed, you can actually only hit 2 of the 3 switches before Alphys interrupts you. But here at What a Glitch, we have no time to hear what our friends have to say on the phone, so let's just run left and hit this 3rd switch on the exact right frame. Whoa. It seems like Alphys wasn't too happy about that. So let's just go on to the next one before anything else happens. While still chilling in Hotland, you encounter these vent puzzles that continue in 1 of 4 directions when you hit the switch in the middle. By bringing up the inventory screen right before you land on the switch, you can bypass some of these puzzles because the switch in the middle doesn't actually activate. The timing isn't as stringent as a punch card skip, but it's neat either way. Okay, bye, I'm leaving. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, don't forget to give that like.
No. One last one to the end of this video.
Hey there, I'm D-Pad Gamer, and today I'd like to share with you a few fun Easter eggs that can be found in Undertale. Before jumping right in, to be clear, there will be spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, play the game and then come back. If you're okay with that, let's get on to the video. Before starting the game, you'll have the opportunity to name the main character. Depending on what you choose, you'll get some fun responses. Here are some of the good ones. Frisk. The game will be in hard mode for the duration of the ruins, featuring different enemies and alternate dialogue. Chara. The true name. Murder. That's a little on the nose, isn't it? Undyne. Get your own name. Toriel. I think you should think of your own name, my child. Asgore. You cannot. Asriel. Flowey. I already chose that name. Napsta. They're powerless to stop you. Jerry. Choosing Gaster will glitch the game, making it reset to the opening cutscene, making it pretty much impossible to choose this name. Inside the ruins, some interesting stuff will happen when you do what Toriel says. I must attend to some business, and you must stay alone a while. Please remain here. It's dangerous to explore by yourself. I have an idea. I will give you a cell phone. If you have a need for anything, just call. Be good, alright?
12 seconds later.
Hello? This is Toriel. My errands are taking longer than I thought they would. You must wait 5 more minutes. Thank you for being patient.
Many months later.
Hello, this is Toriel. I found what I was looking for, but before I could take it, a small white puppy snatched it away. How odd. Do dogs even like flour? That's an unrelated question, of course. It will take a little longer. Please understand.
2,000 years later.